Hello, everyone. Welcome to our presentation today. My name's Tom from Holland America Line, and I'm going to be telling you a little bit about a very special cruise with Orchid Travel and Renee sailing to Alaska this summer. I'm going to go ahead and get started and share my screen with you. So let's go ahead and dive in. Okay, so hopefully all of you can see my screen there. So we're going to be talking a little bit about Holland America and the Holland America experience to begin with, talking about some of the onboard experiences. Then we're going to dive right into Alaska and the wonderful itinerary. To set the scene, first of all, I will share a few bits and pieces with you regarding where we are as a cruise line and our operations. We have 11 ships that are sailing and operating. All of our ships are operating fully staffed, and we are sailing all 7 continents as we have been doing for many years. Now, I know that some of you who are watching are Holland America fans, have cruised with Holland America before. Some of you haven't cruised with Holland America before. Maybe some of you have once or twice in the past. For me personally, Holland America is a cruise line that is very close to my heart. I, in fact, spent many years working on board ship, sailing with Holland America. In fact, I met my wife on board a Holland America Line ship. We've named our kids after Holland America Line ships. Little Zydam is 6 and Noordam is 8. That is just a very bad joke, but we do call them the damn kids. That part is true. But in all seriousness, it's a cruise line that is just so magical and so special to so many. And if you haven't learned about anything about Holland America before, hopefully I'll be able to give you a little bit of a flavor of what Holland America is all about over the next few minutes. So essentially, we're for explorers, foodies, and music lovers. I'll touch on what we mean by that in just a second. We don't have roller coasters or go-karts. So if you were looking for that, perhaps there are other cruise lines that can offer that, but there's nothing negative to be said about those things. But what I will say is there are a lot of folks who have been there, done that, now looking for more space, perhaps luxury, fewer crowds, more immersive itineraries, touches of luxury, whether it's a guest to staff ratio that gives you that little extra touch when it comes to service, the fresh flowers, lots of different things go to make up the sum of the parts with Holland America. So when it comes to the experience, the ships themselves are key. So I will start by touching on the ships. We don't call ourselves mid-sized. That name used to be, or that kind of term, I guess it was something that was used to describe the size of our ships, but we prefer perfectly sized. The reason we say perfectly sized is because mid-sized can mean anything. There are some cruise lines with 3,000, 4,000 people on that say their ships are mid-sized, but our ships are much smaller than that. And it's more about the style of the ships, the space, the open deck space, as you can see in this picture here, all that open deck space with the private veranda space or the open bow, which is great for scenic cruising in Alaska. The wonderful Lido pool area with the Magradome roof, which means we can use that wonderful exterior area regardless of the weather. But there's the look and the feel of our ships as well. There's something classic and nautical about our ships. It's often said that Holland America ships look like ships, and you can see why. There's something very special. Wherever we're sailing, our ships just look perfect. When it comes to the types of cruising we offer, we find there are cruisers that are coming to us for various reasons. Something for everyone: anniversary couples, sisters reunions, girls getaway groups, family groups. Especially in Alaska, we have a lot of family groups. There's just something for everyone. Those groups where you have family, friends, and everyone gathers at the end of the day to share those stories and talk about their experiences either around the ship or in port, and then have fun at dinner, and then take that out and around the ship in the evening to the wonderful live music venues. So there's that wonderful community feel. I mentioned the word explorers. The reason why we are for explorers, and we can say that with conviction, is because we've been doing it for 150 years. It's our 150th anniversary this year, big birthday for us. And in that time, we have been, I guess, perfecting the itineraries that we offer. We have relationships with ports, maritime authorities, and nations around the globe that allow us to have top billing in ports and the best berthing arrangements. So you won't be having to dock way out in a container port with Holland America. You're downtown in many cases. You know, when we're in Europe, you might see another cruise ship on the horizon, way out, far out in the distance, where your steps from the plaza downtown. We have a high number of ports and a high number of itineraries. This depth and breadth is uncommon in the cruise industry. You very rarely get those two factors. So lots of itineraries with a variety of ports. So a lot of choice, essentially. And we have that experience. We've been delivering itineraries for so many years to these destinations that we know exactly how to do it and what it takes to create the perfect pace and kind of cadence to an itinerary. When it comes to food, we've always been a cruise line for foodies. Food is great wherever you cruise. With us, we occupy kind of a middle ground, a sweet spot, to use a food analogy. And that is, unlike those cruise lines which have very small ships where it's just one dining venue and then maybe an alternate option, and that's it. There's not much choice. Or on the other hand, those mega ships where you've got the dining room with the same menu every day or 20 different paid options. We're neither of those things. We have the classic Holland America dining room experience, whether it's open seating or fixed seating, with new menu items every day, different menus every day. You then have 2, 3, or 4 specialty dining venues that you can enjoy depending on how you know what you feel like planning for that evening. We've got Rue de Sel de Mer, our seafood brasserie, Canaletto, our Italian sharing Spartiere concept restaurant, the Pinnacle Grill, which is our classic kind of Pacific Northwest chop house steak and seafood, and then the Tamarind, probably my favorite. That's kind of a Pan-Asian fusion with wonderful 180-degree views, which is wonderful when you're sailing Alaska. If you sail Alaska and you book that for a time when, let's say, you're sailing out up the Inside Passage with the sunset behind you. Oh, wow, the ambience is just incredible. One of my favorite spots. And we don't have one celebrity chef that we put in, with a big sign above the restaurant in neon lights to get a few headlines. For us, it goes deeper than that. We have a culinary council of experts, Michelin star chefs, accredited chefs, over many kind of disciplines, and they create new dishes in real time throughout the year, week after week, new dishes being added to our menu, so we keep it fresh and exciting. When it comes to culinary, we have some really exciting culinary tours, so we take it out into the ports, and that includes Alaska. So you think of culinary hotspots as Europe, perhaps Mediterranean, Asia. In Alaska, we've got some incredible walking tours, foodie VIP tours to the kitchens of the top hotels in Juneau's, where local chefs are using locally sourced ingredients to create traditional recipes, where you can get hands-on and taste and sample. Tours where you can see how the kelp is harvested in Ketchikan, how the oysters are cultivated from the larvae. Some incredible educational and enriching in food tours in the ports wherever we sail. Music is a big thing for us. We shook things up a few years ago. We really turned things on their head when it came to cruise ship music, moving away from that kind of tried, stale idea of cruise ship musicians being the same musicians everywhere around the ship. They just changed their jacket and changed the style of music. We decided to create purpose-built music venues for professional musicians who are the experts in their craft. So we've got BB King's Blues Club. That is a 6 to 8 piece band, and they all come through Beale Street, Memphis, BB King's Blues Club itself, and they are playing anything that gets the crowd on their feet from the last 5 decades, from Bruno Mars right through to Chuck Berry, Aretha, Stevie, Beyonce. If it gets the crowd on their feet, that's what they're all about. It's just such a fabulous venue. Billboard on board is 2 piano entertainers, twice the laughs and sing-alongs, without that kind of sardine tin piano bar cruise ship lounge concept, which has been around for so many years. It's a much more open lounge, lots of laughs, lots of entertainment. We've got the classical selection, and I'll tell you about the other lounge in just a second, the Rolling Stone Rock Room. But The live music on board is in an area we call music walks. You're not searching around the ship in the evening for the life and soul. It's all within a close proximity. So it's a lot of fun in the evenings after you've had that fabulous dinner. A lot of great live music and entertainment. And the service itself, there's so much that can be said about the service. One thing I will say is the crew themselves. I always like to shout out the crew. They are the backbone of what we do. They put smiles on the faces of our guests day after day. They win hearts and minds day after day, and they are the best crew in the cruise industry as far as I'm concerned. So that's who I see is ultimately responsible for winning so many awards when it comes to Holland America service. It's the crew themselves. Okay, just a quick word about the ships, because we're going to talk about the Koningsdam in just a second and this July cruise. I just want to give you a kind of a sneak peek and a taster of what the interior of how the interior of our ships look. Our new flagship was just launched last year, the Rotterdam. Well, actually, about 18 months ago now, and she sails actually in Europe. So we're actually going to talk about Alaska today, but the Rotterdam is one of the pinnacle class ships, and I'm just going to show you some imagery of the look and feel of a Holland America Line ship, so you get an idea. This is the Grand Dutch Cafe, Dutch crepes, treats, pastries, all served on Royal Delft earthenware. Dutch lagers, lots of delicious snacks. Our greenhouse spa and salon, the Rolling Stone Rock Room, our 180-degree amphitheater main stage. That's where our evening entertainment takes place. The games room in the crow's nest on the top left-hand side. The fitness center, a huge fitness center. The wonderful open dining room, very fresh and open and spacious. The classic crow's nest for that scenic cruising. That's me when I step foot on board ship for the first time. Get a step foot again, I should say, for the first time just a year or so ago. And some other great spots around the ship. Our Scotch tasting bar, Notes there, the retreat cabanas, our Lido pool area. So many beautiful spaces. And if you're wondering what the rooms look like, our staterooms are 25% larger than the average premium cruise line stateroom. So spacious, light colors. If you're looking for more details about the various categories in the stateroom, speak with Renee. She is the expert on all of the different categories of room. But regardless of whichever stateroom you're looking to book into, like I say, you will find that extra space on a Holland America Line vessel when it comes to your stateroom. So we do sail all over the world. Today we're going to talk about Alaska. We are Alaska. That's what we say. That's our slogan, and that is for good reason, because we have been sailing to Alaska for more than 75 years, before Alaska was even a state. And we win more awards for Alaska than you can shake a stick at. We need a very large trophy cabinet. And the reason we are so well accredited and win these awards, it comes down to a few things. It's the itineraries themselves, it's the ships, it's the deployment out of Vancouver and Seattle, it's the glacier viewing component, the land component that we also offer. So we really do have everything covered when it comes to Alaska. The onboard programming is a big part of what we do, because you're not just there to visit the ports. While you're on board, we want to make you feel connected to the destination. So the enrichment on board, it comes in various forms through our presentations, our talks on board, when it comes to the history, the culture, and the wildlife of Alaska. We have a concert that is in partnership with BBC Earth. Incredible footage that BBC Earth have curated for us, brought to life by our orchestra on board, those experts on board ship. And then the food is a big part of Alaska cruising. Wherever we're sailing, we try and bring the local dishes on board ship and incorporate it into the menus. Also the beverages. We have a partnership with Alaska Brewing. Something very cool that I'm really proud of is we are now the first and only cruise line that is certified to be serving sustainable and traceable wild Alaska seafood, which is very cool. When it comes to the scenery in Alaska. There's something very special about Holland America, and that is the amount of permits we have for Glacier Bay. Now, permits may not sound like the most interesting thing to hear about, but what it allows us to do is, well, let me backtrack for 2 seconds. The amount of permits we receive is actually twice the amount that any other cruise line receives. And what it allows us to do is be here longer and twice as often as any other cruise line. It is an incredible day, the day in Glacier Bay. It gives you chills, it is spine tingling, it is magical. And many cruise lines, if they are permitted to visit Glacier Bay, will only be there for maybe an hour or so, maybe 2 hours, kind of a drive-by. Then you're back out in the Gulf of Alaska, just going around out at sea. We give you a full day. So you have to think about that in terms of when you're looking at where you travel to. If you're looking at a cruise line and it gives you one cruise line gives you a full day in a port, the other one only gives you a couple of hours, the other one doesn't go there at all, it's the one that gives you the full day that gives you the most value. It's the same with Glacier Bay. To watch the glaciers carve and the wildlife viewing opportunities, it's incredible. We'll visit 3 glaciers on the day, wildlife viewing opportunities throughout the day. It's narrated every step of the way, and it's a big part of the itinerary, that special day in Glacier Bay. And because of that open deck space that I mentioned, I showed you that picture of the ship right there at the beginning. Because of that open deck space, you can get up close and personal. So we open up the bow. And because we have this open bow, you're not tripping over, a go-kart track or a winch or whatever it may be. It's open, so it's unhurried. You don't have to, fight to find a space. You've got that hot chocolate, maybe an Irish coffee, a Dutch pea soup, blanket, whatever you feel in the mood for. It's just a wonderful day, just taking this incredible scenery. And where we dock is key. I mentioned this earlier. So this is Juneau. So you're looking out down the Gatineau Channel from Mount Roberts, just at up from the port here. So you're looking out at the Gatineau Channel, back out from where we sailed in. If you see some green containers, some green boxes to the bottom right of the screen there, that's the container port. That's where a lot of cruise lines dock for Juneau. And that's about a 20-minute journey into town. You have to wait for a shuttle, then the shuttle's going to take 10 minutes or so to get into town. That's the beginning of the day and the end of the day. And if you want to make multiple trips in and on and off the ship, then you can eat up hours of your day by doing so. Where we dock, it's downtown on the Koningsdam. We're docked in berth 1 or 2 downtown, steps into the square, where all of the points of interest are. Access to Mount Roberts, downtown, shops, restaurants, shore excursions all depart from there. So convenient, and it maximizes your time in port as well. Now, the reason these 2 little fellows are very excited is because our Pinnacle class ship Koningsdam returns to Vancouver. Now, Koningsdam is sister to that ship I just showed you. The Rotterdam, our brand new flagship, was the ship I showed you those shots of. Koningsdam is her sister, identical ship. She sails into Vancouver again this summer, and that is the ship that Red Orchid Travel have that very special exclusive escorted cruise on. The one that Renee is going to be escorting, and she's a very special ship. She makes her home in Vancouver she's based on the West Coast year-round. Vancouver to sail Alaska in the summer, and then she's down sailing out of San Diego in the winter to Mexico. But she's a very special ship. So the sailing that Renee has selected for this very special escorted group cruise is the 22nd of July, 2023, round trip Vancouver. I showed you some pictures there of Juneau, that downtown docking in Juneau. It's the same when we're in Ketchikan and Skagway. We give you that premium berthing, so super access, that full day in Glacier Bay, and your hosts are wonderful. Renee is so experienced. She is a highly accomplished travel professional and a great host for a group. It's going to be such a fun time to be able to travel together, share those experiences, those stories in the hands of an expert who knows Holland America inside out, knows the itinerary inside out, knows Alaska inside out. So that's a lot of fun, whether you're hanging out together in BB King's Blues Club, off on a shore excursion together, exploring port together, having dinner together. It's just so much fun to go as a group. Whether you're hanging out in the day, doing your own thing, and then gathering together in the evening, however you choose to spend your time, it's just wonderful to have that little kind of camaraderie and community and cruise together in that way. So the sailing itself, as I mentioned, is on the Koningsdam. And I'll give you a few other kind of sneak peeks around the Koningsdam. I've been on Koningsdam in the past year probably 4 times. She's a ship pretty close to my heart. I'm looking forward to seeing her coming in under the Lionsgate Bridge very soon. I'm in North Vancouver, by the way, so I do get to see the ships as they come in and out, and I can't wait to see her come under the Lionsgate Bridge for the first time again this year to start the Alaska season. So here's a few sneak peeks around the ship. Pound for pound, I would say she is the most beautiful, stunning ship to sail out of Vancouver on a weekly basis. Classic Holland America architecture and artwork. It's got that warm kind of casual feel, but also that kind of those touches of luxury, the fresh flowers, the artwork. They're very open, not stuffy or crowded. That's a few of my own personal shots from the main stage entertainment, some incredible shows from the main stage, and those music lounges. I mentioned BB King's Blues Club earlier. The one I didn't really touch on was Rolling Stone Rock Room. So in addition to BB King's Blues Club, we also have Rolling Stone Rock Room. Rolling Stone Rock Room is playing at the same time, in many cases, most of the time when BB King's Blues Club is playing. So you've got alternate options, as well as the billboard on board dueling pianos, piano entertainment. But Rolling Stone Rock Room, and this is Rolling Stone magazine that has put these bands together, auditions the bands, and they are incredible. This is classic 60s, 70s rock. So I think the Eagles, the Who, Fleetwood Mac, you get the picture, that classic pub rock. So it's just incredible to have all these lounges firing on all 4 cylinders. Great music, whether you want to hear that classic rock, or you want something to get you up on your feet and dance to, or you want to sing along. It's all happening. So many choices in the evening. So that's the itinerary. Reach out to Renee for more information. She has all of the information and the great deals. So there are various benefits that may be included, and please work with her, because she can give you the options. They may include any of the following. So you have a choice in many cases of what you add to the booking and the benefits. First off, Red Orchid Travel and Red Orchid Women's Travel have access to, through the network, the Virtuoso network that it's connected to, gives you benefits, which in many cases include shipboard credits, in many cases include lower rates, depending on the type of fare you book. But basically, you're going to get a much better deal working through Renee and Red Orchid than you would working directly through Holland America. They have those benefits to pass on to you. So always make sure you're working with Renee and Red Orchid. So there are those benefits. Also, we have our current public promotion right now called the Time of Your Life sale happening in March. So you may be able to pick up some of those extras from that at the same time when Renee makes your booking, which will include onboard spending money to spend on board ship. And then you always have the option of adding what we call the Have It All package, which basically gives you 4 of our most popular amenities for half the cost. Half the cost of what it would cost for you to purchase them on board. So that's the beverage package, 1 night specialty dining, of the Wi-Fi package, $100 shore excursion credit. You get all of that at half the cost, instead of waiting to purchase them on board and paying the full price. So you can opt to have the Have It All package added to your booking, or you can go without the Have It All package. It's up to you. So Renee can work through those benefits with you. So she has those benefits at her fingertips to pass on to you, all of those extras. She's also an expert at what she does, a professional travel advisor that knows Holland America and all of the cruise products and travel products inside out. She has me on speed dial and access to all the internal workings of the various departments to help make sure your experience and your cruise is fully catered for. So she has that expertise and the benefits to pass on. But I would say most importantly, the reason to be working with Renee and Red Orchid is as a travel professional in your community, a real person in your community, someone who you can connect with, whether in person, by phone, or via email. You have that genuine connection with someone, which I feel is so valuable these days. You're not dealing with someone in the call center hundreds or thousands of miles away, a real person, and you have that relationship with her. So reach out to Renee. Um, you can contact her here. Here are her details. No doubt she would already send those through to you. You can reach out to her anytime. And if you have questions, as specific or unique as they are, if she for some reason isn't able to find that information, she can always reach out to me directly to source that information. So make sure you touch base with Renee. I hope to see you on the Koningsdam. I know I'll certainly be on the Koningsdam over the next few months. She's a ship that I certainly love to sail on. So have a great cruise, and I hope to see you on one of our ships.